The listening table is a practice for me, but sometimes being deeply heard is exactly what someone needs. This may have been the case when the man who said he was extremely down sat with me. He said he was in recovery from hard drugs, that he'd relapsed before, that he was currently in rehab, that his dad was dying, and that he felt like he didn't have a purpose in his life. I wanted to acknowledge this massive burden on his spirit, so I shook my head and said that any of those individually sound awful, and to have them on top of lacking purpose in life sounds unimaginable. Painful. His mouth quivered like he was about to cry, and my heart broke for the man. I felt inspired to try connecting by sharing a story from a previous table where a man said he'd been homeless, addicted to fentanyl and PCP, and somehow had gotten off of them and found refuge in a homeless shelter. I asked that man if he felt like he was making progress, and he said he'd never felt worse and that he believed no one would care if he took his own life that day. It was a heartbreaking experience, and the man at the table seemed to get it deeply. He asked for my number because he wanted to start his own table, and I pointed him to my website and said I looked forward to hearing from him. We hugged, and as he walked away, I called out and said, "You matter." I don't know how it landed, but I followed it up by asking the people he was with if they were his friends. They said yes, and I said, "Don't let him forget that, okay?" I don't know if that did anything, or if you'll say it's against my guidelines, but I listened to my heart and it felt right. I hope that he sets up a table one day and it gives him something he needs. Thank you for listening and have a great listening day.